What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relay reverse rants, no hate. So, me and my partner was just talking last night about Keyshawn Davis. And, we trying to find some positives, man, in boxing right now. And, he is one of the people that is on a statement, on a mission statement right now with every fight that he's making. And, it's something about this generation where they don't like competition, man. They really don't like competition. It's like I'm that guy that if the football team I want to see win, like if the, the Las Vegas Raiders, right? If they're going against, the Dallas Cowboys, right? And I'm pulling for the Raiders to win. I'm not that person that, let's say the Cowboys star quarterback and wide receiver get knocked out. I'm going, yeah, we got this. Because at the end of the day, you didn't beat the Cowboys at full strength. I mean, shit happens, right? And it's unfortunate because the same thing could have happened to the Raiders quarterback and best wide receiver or running back or whatever, right? But the fact that you feel triumphant because you beat a team not at full strength, which is a part of the game, it happens. But that's like some bottom feeder bum mentality. I'm glad to have won and brag about it, and I guarantee you, a true player would say, "Hey, hey man, a win is a win. We got it," and they're gonna celebrate their win. But deep down inside, and they'll probably you have players that will say it. I really do wish their star quarterback was in, or I wish but hey, that's what happens. But because you know what, even though you got it, part of you feel like the win was tainted, because even though that possibility of star players getting hurt, and like I said, it could happen to someone on the team that you like as well, it's still more satisfying to know we beat them at full strength, our best versus their best. Now, you get knocked out in the game, that's something different. In the game. Because, hey, man, shit happens. But to come into the Super Bowl, just say, for example, or whatever, and without your star play, that's like, okay, it's just unfortunate. It is what it is. So with Keyshawn Davis, this guy has been putting pressure on Tank. Now, my partner was telling me about some shit, and that was said by Tank. And I checked the video out, and I said, yeah, he said that, and I said, yeah. So I'll talk about Keyshawn, because I'm like, man, I'm looking for shit to talk about in boxing that pertains boxing. I don't want to talk about Floyd Mayweather and the situation that happened over there. Where that's not boxing news. That's news about a guy that's a boxer that has nothing to do with nothing. And there are times where I will address real serious situations, especially like racist shit, because in this day and time, people are trying to bring that shit back to where they can walk down the street, hey nigga, hey boy, hey monkey, hey coon, and yes sir, yes sir, how can I help you, sir? We in that era of time right now, because you even got stupid black folks that don't get it. They don't get it. They're sitting and support racists and shit. People that have no fucking nothing but hatred and racism towards them, and say shit like, I got black people in my family, but you still making the comments that you make. That's because black people make them feel comfortable that, man, I can say nigga, coon, monkey, them niggas ain't gonna do shit. Yeah, so I will talk about real shit. Now, I don't want to talk about shit like what happened with Floyd. That's bullshit, whatever. Whatever. But at the end of the day, Tank Davis said something that, to me, he backed himself into a corner in terms of what the truth is. It doesn't really matter in this generation because people just like to talk. Everything, to me, the talking, the going back and forth, all the banter, the bullshit, that's all more important than boxing itself. The boxing has taken a backseat to the so-called entertainment. So, what Tank said was, what did Shakur do? He did nothing, and said, yo, the young fighter's looking better than this nigga. Like, Keyshawn Davis. Okay? So if you're saying that Shakur's done nothing, now, first off, let's be real, Shakur is more accomplished than Keyshawn. Now, does Keyshawn beat Shakur? I don't know. Did Shakur beat Keyshawn? I don't know. Looking at experience, people will lean towards the more experienced or the more well-known fighters, but I'm not doing that. I'm not a part of the majority. I look at what these fighters bring to the table. I don't know. And after Keyshawn's last fight, he made a huge statement. And this dude came in, 20 pounds over, right? So this dude was in there fighting a damn middleweight. Now, and Lemos is no pushover, for damn sure. Lemos is a tough guy, but look at what happened, right? So here's my thing for Tank is, I don't know that Keyshawn beats Tank. I don't know if Tank beats Keyshawn. Looking at Tank's track record, that's what people always do. You go by their last fights. You go by, or their consistency as well, and all of that. Look at what they've been doing, how they make adjustments to different fighters, how they, go in there and they're able to break you down no matter what your approach is. Their approach is enough to overcome what you're trying to do, and it becomes a thing of, okay, this guy has not only seen but beaten all these different styles. So it's not about what people say. I don't care about what people say. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but my thing is how we find out, get in the ring and fight. So for Tank Davis to say that the younger dude's looking better than Shakur, okay, then if you're saying, I don't see Shakur the way y'all do, to me, Keyshawn Davis is a better fighter, then you have no reason to not fight him. Keyshawn Davis said, 12, 13 fights in, whatever, I'm ready. I'm ready for Tank. I want to fight him now. Look, man, Keyshawn is a tall, rangy guy compared to Tank. He has power and he has skill. Now, he says skill for skill, he's better than Tank, and he says he's tougher than Tank. Okay, that's confidence for your ass. Right? So we will know what's what if and when they get in the ring. So for Tank Davis to say that Keyshawn is looking better than Shakur, but don't fight him, then that doesn't say anything good on Tank's behalf. So if Tank goes and fight anybody after this Lamont Roach fight, because him saying he's going to retire, I think is just pure BS. But even if he did, he's only hurting himself if he does this walk away, come back shit. And basically, it's getting real old now. But this is what the mindset of these fighters are. I fought on bigger stages and bigger platforms. So if he goes from saying Keyshawn is looking better than Shakur to say, yo, what is Keyshawn done? All he did was beat Lemos. He beat one dude. So what? Then, well, who is it? Who is it that you want to fight? And if the message is that that's my point, there's nobody left, then walk away. Because the truth of the matter is, if you go and fight somebody else other than Keyshawn, after your own words, was he's looking better than Shakur, there's no logical explanation other than you're trying to stay away from a dangerous fighter. Because I don't want to hear that shit about he don't generate the money I want. And you see, the thing is this, right? Tank just turned 30. All right. He was once a guy that people was, Tank this, Tank that. And, people didn't want to fight Tank like they pretended they did. They got in there, and no matter who it was, he broke them down and he won. But now you got Keyshawn. I mean, man, it's like the Boots, Terrence Crawford situation. The whole, it's always, how Errol Spence was ducked at one time. He was the guy nobody wanted to fight. Crawford was the guy nobody wanted to fight. Then the same guys, Canelo, Canelo was never the guy really nobody wanted to fight. Everybody wanted to fight Canelo, especially after he became the cash cow. But this is what people fail to understand about, the way how things go. Because like I said, if Keyshawn becomes that guy, and then he starts, making big money, it's going to be the same thing. He's going to do the same thing. I beat this guy. Who did you beat? They all do the same shit. And they're all trying to fight and get the biggest money. So this is where a more respected fighter is going to be respected, because they're doing nothing but fighting the top guys. And it's not about, all right, this dude is high risk, low reward. No, I want this dude. And if you see a fighter that actually does that shit, You know what I'm saying? Even after he's really established and become a big star, because this is part of the politics and bullshit in boxing. So that makes no sense to me. You know, like Jerron Boots Ennis was saying, he couldn't really get up for this last guy. He didn't really want the fight, man. He wasn't after the first 4 rounds. It was just kind of like, that's a flaw. That's a flaw, Jerron, because I'm gonna tell you right now, every fight is a step closer to getting to your goal. That's how you're supposed to take every fight. And if that alone is not motivation, you know what could happen to you? The same shit that happened to Errol Spence when he got in there with Crawford. That he got in there and he was far more accomplished. You know, and I understand what Jerron is saying is that he want that feeling of beating a champion. He want that satisfaction because he got the belt, but he didn't get the belt by beating anyone. You know, and he don't like that. Okay, well, that should be an incentive. That should be more motivation for you, just that alone. That you're showing that these guys are not on my level. Because you can go in there and you think this, okay, I look lackluster this fight. I look lackluster the fight before that or whatever. Now, all of a sudden tonight, I'm going to turn up, which is very possible, highly possible. But it's also highly possible that the way you didn't turn up in those fights that were lesser against a lesser opponent, that you might do the same exact thing. And that's for like any fighter. So you don't ever, when you that mindset of I can't, it's hard to get up for certain people. Man, I can never relate to that shit. I've heard Roy Jones and a lot of fighters say that shit. I just can't get up for these guys. I don't know what they got to beat me with. Like, bro, if you accept the fight, that's the last thing that should be coming out your mouth, is that I can't get up for these guys. You know, hey, we see what's going to happen, and whether Tank take the challenge or not, that's up to Tank. Tank should take this fight. And the truth of the matter is, like I said, man, Keyshawn wants to fight, and he's ready. Now, whether he actually wins or not, I don't know. And for me, this isn't I want to see somebody beat the shot of Tank fight. This is a made a best man win fight for me. You know, I only feel like that towards arrogant, big mouth motherfuckers that lie, make up shit, and dodge people, but then, you know, just try to bamboozle the fans and all that delusional shit. You know, like the Tyson Furies of the world. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like, look, man, take the fucking fight. Why not? This dude is ready. He's calling you out. You yourself said he was looking better than Shakur. And the same way Lomachenko walked away from you, you know, I noticed something that Tank said in a previous interview that made me look at Tank and go, Tank, you sound like you about to pull a duck move. Because he said, you see how Lomachenko walked away? He said, sometimes that's how you feel, man. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, this and this and this. Now, imagine if Lomachenko decided to come back and call Tank out, and then Tank start going, motherfucker, you had your chance, you walked away. A person can easily look at Tank and say, well, Tank, you said that you understood that shit. You won't fight Shakur. You won't fight Keyshawn Davis. What the fuck are you trying to do? And yeah, Loma ducked and walked away because he was in negotiations first, then walked away. Right? But at the same time, it's the whole point of the thrill of competition. Man, these dudes are just basically trying to make as much money as they possibly can and avoid the risk of fighting a guy that they feel like they know that this guy is good enough to give them a problem. Despite the fanboy bullshit, they know. And I look at Keyshawn Davis and say that dude is a threat to any of them. They know this. So for Keyshawn Davis, the best thing he can do, he keep putting pressure on Tank. And Tank got to find an excuse to not fight him. But don't dwell on Tank. Don't let these fucking fans treat you like a flavor of the month type fighter. Keep your focus. Keep whooping ass. And if it come down to you and Shakur or whoever, fuck it, man. Make it happen. Because you see what happened when people kept chasing Canelo. A lot of good years out of their career went by fighting other guys because they keep trying to fight Canelo, worrying about Canelo. And every fight they go in, it just feel like it's just another fight until I can get the Canelo. And you don't want to be in that position. You want to keep headlining, keep doing what you're doing. Fuck these ignorant, hating ass fans that worried about people body parts and facial expressions and all this goofy shit that they be talking about. Stupid stuff that people be talking about, man. Like, these dudes are a bunch of divas, man. It's like a bunch of women watching the sport, listening to these dudes talk. But that's a fight that we'll see what happens, whether it happens or not. But for Keyshawn, keep your momentum. And if Tank don't want to fight, fuck him. Move on. build your career the same way y'all packed over 10,000 people in that fucking building with a bunch of up-and-coming fighters, you on to something, bro. And if Tank doesn't take the fight, and Tank is a badass in the ring. This is why it's so disappointing to watch boxing and see these guys make every excuse to not fight certain guys. So we'll see how things go. But I'll say this. For a guy like Tank, who's done the things he's done, people are still saying, Tank, you got to fight better opponents. Tank, why are you avoiding this guy? Tank, you can fight this guy. Tank. And the thing is, most people think Tank will beat all of these guys. This is why when I listen to these guys talk, and they talk all this shit about Floyd, but they always trying to copy Floyd, but they're not putting the work in that Floyd put in. Facts, look at his resume and look at theirs. Y'all can talk all that, he fought a motherfucker when they was too old or too young, bullshit, all y'all want. The bottom line is, these fucking fighters are not doing their jobs. You get paid millions of dollars to go in there and fight and deliver for the fans. But you go in there and pick and choose and fight when you want to fight, who you want to fight, before you even really have a stellar resume. So even when you make accomplishments, just like, for example, he's saying Shakur never did nothing. Well, here's the thing. A person can look at Tank and say, Tank, but you was never undisputed champion. Or you understand what I'm saying? You got fighters that you could fight that you don't even care if you fight them or not. Because Tank is in that position, he's going to make his money regardless. But guess what? Everybody's stock can drop. Everybody. Stop avoiding fighters. Stop treating fighters like, oh, he ain't on my level, he ain't did nothing. But then you go fight somebody who is not on the same level as that person, whose level's below that person. Boxing needs to get its shit together. Plain and simple. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.